Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklarbro Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
AKA one salmon couchy, two fans of Fauci,
aka spending money to make that honey and dispensing funny to make the day sunny. That's aka Huddletron, aka the aka guy, aka Old Zealand. How about this one?
Poetic, brother.
Two yids, each with two kids who are friends with this old goy who has a girl and a boy. That's Stephen Elton Yates.
Oh, yes.
AKA our friend, guys. I love it. Hashtag AKA Sklarbro. Send them to us. There are some other really good ones.
We'll throw you some into the mix.
Will Gadd had some great ones. What did he said?
Will Gadd is what I'm going to say now instead of E.
Will Gadd.
Will Gadd.
Two mates, same traits. What's left to investigate? Will Gadd. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone who's sending those in. It is dangerously close to the election. We are 4 days away from it all going down. If you haven't voted yet, vote now. Do it early. Vote early. I would say vote often, but this isn't Venezuela.
Yes.
So I'd say vote early, get it in. Your vote counts. It matters. You matter. And we're going to do this thing. We're going to do this thing together. We're going to flip this script. We got great stories to get into. We'll tell you all about it. Let's jump into this first one right now because I want to know how you're feeling. We want to know how you guys are feeling. Like shout at your whatever you're doing. Shout at your dishes that you're washing. Shout at your dog that's trying to take a poop on someone's lawn that you don't have a poop
Just
bag.
yell out into the night air, I'm stressed out.
We're a couple days from front of the election, and we don't know what the outcome is going to be. And so much doubt has been thrown on the result from the bully pulpit that nobody knows what to expect. Anxiety is high.
We talk about this in the ad for our sponsor for this show. Anxiety is high.
The pandemic is reaching new heights. Relief is nowhere in sight, and it's getting colder.
Yes.
So that restaurants and stuff like in towns in the Midwest that pivoted beautifully and converted their parking lot to a place where they were seating people on the outside and they were doing such a beautiful job. What are they going to do when it's wintertime, Jay?
I don't know.
People are at their wits' ends, okay?
I've never seen anything like this in all of my days.
But at very, very least, you're not this next guy in this next story. You can take solace in the fact that you didn't do what he did, that you possess the gene inside of you that tells you, I shouldn't be doing that.
Even though we're all feeling the same feelings, we're all feeling the same anxiety, and we all feel at times boxed into a place where we don't know what to do.
And this is why we do the show. For you, for us, this is like a two-way street here. We do this show so that you guys can get through, so that we can get through. Not to point out, as we did up above, all the things that are rough for everyone right now, but we can't avoid it.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got to talk about this stuff. Our stories are born out of the new normal that we're living in, and we must acknowledge it so that we don't normalize this new normal. This is the new abnormal.
Right.
And thus we can figure out a way to get back to normal.
Right.
That is what we're doing. In other words,
or to establish a new normal that incorporates what we've learned in this time and hopefully is better than where we were
always
before.
Have in the back of your mind, and I think everybody will, from the time that this thing happens, a pivot. Just always have a pivot in the back of your mind so that if shit comes down, you can pivot. So vote like your life depends on it. That's the whole thing. And don't be this guy. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Altoona, Pennsylvania. An Altoona man. See, to me, Altoona, before we even get into the story, has always been one of those joke cities like Poughkeepsie.
Or Schenectady.
Or Sheboygan. Those cities to me are like when comedy writers in the 50s sat down to come up with funny
Where
cities.
Where is she from? She's from Sheboygan.
He's from Altoona. She's from Sheboygan. He's from Altoona. They live in Schenectady. Boom, there's a comedy sketch.
Comedy.
Right? That's how you do it. When I hear an Altoona man, I think something silly is about to go down, and something kind of silly but kind of scary does go down. An Altoona man was charged after allegedly, I think he did it. I don't know how allegedly this is. Screaming and throwing items into the road at 5 a.m. 5 a.m., Jay.
I have not been sleeping well, and I've been up at 5:45, and that still feels
I'm guessing he isn't an early riser. We got up this morning to do this really nice thing.
Dark out at 6:45.
It was dark out, and it was very early.
This isn't him rising early and getting shit done.
This is a culmination of what happened the night before, and I would argue the day and the morning.
The life before.
This is the morning and day drinking leading into. According to the complaint, 42-year-old Martin Miller
That sounds like an old man that is 6 years younger than us.
Marty Miller was outside of his apartment on the 500 block of 12th Street in Altoona on Wednesday. So he didn't go far from where he lives.
Old Martin Miller's out there again.
At
Someone
it
through
again.
their window. Someone through their window. Marty Miller.
Old Marty Miller's out there. And
What
again,
are you doing by the window, Barbara?
old Marty Miller's out there.
Old Marty Miller's out
He's old, 42, but he's also a pup.
Get away
compared
from
to
the
us.
window, Barbara.
He's
Well,
going to see you.
He's yelling at
I bet he feels a lot older than he is. Don't you think? He's like the members only
what's he-
jacket. But get away from the window, Barbara.
doing out
Barbara,
there?
stop looking at him.
Oh, Marty Miller's out there again.
October 14th, when police arrived to observed not one, two mailboxes laying in the street and a handle of vodka behind him. Handle of vodka behind him in the rear view. That to me could describe Marty Miller. Do you know what I mean? Handle of vodka behind him at all times. Behind him mean he's drank it. It's done. It's behind him in his life.
So there are bottles of vodka that you
Handle
get.
is the
A handle
biggie.
means it's larger, and it also means you need easy access to lift it up and
Also,
swig
like
it.
you can't carry it. Your hand can't fit around it. You need a handle to grab it and fit. It's like the little brown jug. And I'll tell you something.
yeah.
You know, he's always taken something out on the Postal Service, right? Marty
this
Miller.
wasn't random. This was a targeted attack.
Spurred on by the president. He said go after the post office, and that's exactly what Martin Miller did.
Yes.
Police spoke with the woman who called the police after Miller woke her up by screaming from the street, "The skies are opening."
There he is out there.
That's got to be fun to wake up. Let me just say
yelling.
this. If it's 5 o'clock in the morning and I hear a bird chirping, I'm like, I'm going to kill that thing.
Yeah, get it
I
out
get
of here.
so mad.
You woke
like,
me up.
thank you for ruining my ability to sleep. Meanwhile, it's not the bird's fault. But
This is this guy's fault. If I hear a guy yelling that the skies are going to open, I'm like, get the cops over here now.
I'm like, yeah, you stupid bitch ass Robin, shut the F up. That's what I would say to a bird.
Right.
This guy's screaming the skies are, and the birds don't know better, and they can't tell. They don't know what you're saying to it. They don't know you're even talking to the bird.
This guy needs to get beat down with a Swiffer stick.
Miller was also shouting that he was the son of God. Now, we don't know if he is.
Maybe he is. I don't
Maybe
know.
this guy, maybe this drunk, mailbox destroying, 5 a.m. screaming Altoona man, Martin Miller, is the son of God.
And maybe he's pissed off that Jesus got all the credit.
He's Jesus's brother, Martin. All right. He just wants God to love. He just wants his dad to love him.
This is like the beginning of every great athlete story.
Or a reason someone buys tigers and keeps them in their backyard.
Dad didn't love me.
Home zoo. Dad didn't love me.
give me the love.
They need to control something in their life because something in their early life.
Dad never loved me, lost control, didn't have control when I was a kid.
The woman reportedly told officers that right before the arrival, he was throwing things in the street and screaming, "Beam me up, Scotty!" and "Here, piggy, piggy." Okay, now I actually love Martin Miller.
Yeah, he's a funny drunk.
At least he's not saying all Asians are bad. Dumb stuff like that, or Mexicans need to burn in hell. He's quoting Star Trek.
Maybe he's a Trekkie.
Maybe he longs for the society that Star Trek projects. Star Trek projects, and my friends that love this show so much, I like the show.
Yeah.
I don't know it as well as the people who are Trekkies. They love it because it projects a world where race is not an issue. There are powerful women running stuff. It's very egalitarian on the Starship Enterprise. It's enterprising.
And it's based on science. They listen to science in
And
Star
he's
Trek.
so disappointed at how far off that Star Trek vision of the future we've gotten that
So
he's
he's
now
saying,
mad.
beam me up, Scotty. Get me off of this planet and get me back up on the Enterprise so that I can be in an egalitarian world.
And as the son of God, which I'm assuming he is, because he did say he was, he's at his wit's end and just needs to get drunk and destroy some mailboxes and get it out of his system.
This world isn't giving him what he needs.
He wants the world to be a Star Trek world, and I get that. He wants Scotty to beam him up out of this, but to a better place.
Where race relations are better. I understand all this. I'm suddenly on board with this guy.
Miller, with reported slurred speech, you knew that was coming.
Yeah,
It's 5 a.m. Told police that he had no idea how the mailboxes got in the road
I don't know how they got
and didn't know what they were talking about.
Well, I don't know what you say.
These mailboxes, Ossifer, you tell me. You tell me
You
how
talk
they
to
got
them.
here.
Talk-
You know he turned that around.
Talk to the hand because the mouth isn't.
I think
facing
it was a government conspiracy. Have you ever seen a dollar bill? Okay, Mr. Miller.
All right. Hey.
Miller is facing charges including public drunkenness, disorderly conduct. They don't know how they got there. He doesn't know how they got there is my favorite thing. He was probably saying that as he was uprooting another mailbox and throwing it in the street. I don't know how those got there.
It's got anywhere.
Threw it out there.
All right. Just lay down for a little while.
I want him to be the son of God, the son that God is ashamed of. That, to me, would make God more relatable.
Yeah, why do we assume that God only had one son
that he was proud of? I want God to have a son that was amazing and a son that was a project.
Yeah.
That's more realistic to what families have. A grifter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? He can't hold a job, keep a relationship going. He gets drunk a lot. He uproots mailboxes and throws them in the street. He gets arrested. He's the one who needs to be redeemed.
When people ask God, how are your kids doing? He's, well, Jesus has been great.
There are teachers like Jesus.
Got a lot of followers. Everyone's really into him.
And
I'm talking about Marty. How's Marty doing?
There are teachers like Jesus and people who can learn from teachers like Jesus, like your younger son, Marty.
Right. How's Marty doing? Well,
he's living.
Look, I'm really proud of Jesus. No, but I asked you about how Marty's doing.
Have I told you about what Jesus? He's teaching lots of people. He's having suppers.
Doing all right. Walking on water. Doing, getting it out there.
But God can be like, look at Marty. Don't do what he does. He's the example of what. There's the teacher and there's the example, and that's it.
But doesn't that make you love God all the more if there is a God?
I know.
That God had some things that didn't work out.
Martin Miller Christ serves to show us where we ought not to go.
Yeah.
Jesus tells you what you should do. Martin Miller Christ tells you what you should do.
They both lead by example in some way.
This feels very biblical to me. Somebody ought to write this down. This is the New Testament, and of course, the New Testament, and
the Newer Testament.
The Newer Testament, and of course, come up with by a couple of Jews. That is our first story.
Book of
Marty. Take it. That's our first story, guys. Down in the books. Next thing we have more election stuff happening on the other side of this, and it is insane. Just crazy groups stepping up.
Well,
in ways.
there's a trend that is happening right now with crazy groups that don't like what their governor is doing, and I don't like it.
I don't like it either, and we'll get into a story on the other side of this break. This is Sklarbro Country, the Virus Edition. You're in the right place. Just don't go anywhere.
Set. Go. Set.
Hey, gang, welcome back to the show. Only a couple more days. Next Saturday night, a week from this Saturday, we've got the live Dumb People Town. Tickets are selling. We are further along at this point than we were last time, and the show sold out by a long shot. So get your tickets now. Go to eventbrite.com. We know what you're doing next Saturday night. You're going to watch us and Daniel Van Kirk.
No matter how stressed you are, whether we know the results of the election or not on Tuesday, we have something for you to look forward past Tuesday.
This is Saturday night, 6:30 p.m. West Coast time, 9:30 Eastern. Us, Daniel Van Kirk, John Hamm, the band Tennis. It is going to be so fun for that brief period of
It's
time.
like a night out in your house. Order in some good food, have a bottle of wine.
We are going to reclaim what is ours on that night, and we need you there to do it. So there's only a few tickets left. Get your
Dumb
tickets
People
there.
Town live.
Follow our Facebook page. We're Sklar Brothers. Just look us up and become a fan. Follow us on
Putting
that
up
page.
old bits of ours and telling stories about how the bits came to be and when we perform them.
So much fun. And then our YouTube page. Look up Sklarbro Country. Follow that. Subscribe to that. Tool around on the page. It helps us out. All right.
Okay. So Kanye aside, the write-in candidate game, it's always going to be nuts, right?
We're not saying Kanye is a nuts.
Oh, he is nuts.
Is nuts.
He's like the write-in candidate in his own life.
The only thing is he does have a lot of talent.
Yes.
Okay.
He makes weird, stupid decisions like deciding to be a write-in candidate.
He definitely feels mentally unstable a lot of the time.
But a lot of people think he's a genius. I am one of them. I think some of his work is some of the best work in the rap
He's not
game.
even running for president, though.
Yeah,
He's
that's
running
what's so
for
crazy.
Veep in California.
Veep in America, but that's kind of makes sense. He's on the ballot in California, but as vice president, because it kind of makes sense he would run for Veep because he's basically the Veep in his own house.
He's not the president of that family.
He's definitely not the top earner in that family. Well, you expect a write-in candidate to live, associated with some weird stuff.
To live a weird life.
To be a weird person. But you maybe don't anticipate a write-in candidate who is a huge Trump supporter to be this crazy herself. Yeah, we said herself.
Not his self, herself.
Crazy lady coming
Or
at
himself.
you. Here we go. A woman who ran as a write-in candidate against Ohio Governor Mike DeWine has unlawfully declared herself governor of the state and has been implicated in a plot to kidnap and prosecute Mr. DeWine.
Okay, let's stop.
Is that where we're headed with this nonsense?
Let's stop the plot to kidnap
But I'm going to
governors.
go back even further. No one can win anything anymore.
Yeah.
If the Dodgers beat the Rays and then the Astros, do the Astros declare themselves world champions?
Do they raise a banner and have a not socially distanced parade in Houston?
What? Because to hell with all the rules and earning stuff. If it doesn't work out your way within a system, what do? Now we're being told you can just ignore the system and do
just
whatever you
claim
want.
yourself as the governor. This, to me, there are stop signs in the world. You have to stop at them. Why? Because there might be a car going the other way. These are the rules this is the social contract
we're all in this society. If you don't want everything to become the purge, you got to follow the rules. You have to.
Look, maybe people want it to become the purge. Maybe people who are, you never know. People are ready and preparing themselves for the purge.
Renea Turner, who ran against Mr. DeWine as
By the way,
write-in candidate in 2018.
Come up with what is your name? Renea, Renata, Renee? Come up with it. You can't even settle on a name, you dummy.
She wrote in. She was a write-in candidate in 2018. How did that work out for you, honey?
Well, she didn't win.
She posted a video to her Facebook on Thursday in which she places her hand on a Bible and proclaims herself the governor of Ohio.
Well, that did it.
She did it.
I guess you're the governor now.
You dragged the Bible into your horrible plan.
By the way, God doesn't want to be a part of this plan. Letting you know.
I don't know. Ohio is free from tyrannous leadership, she wrote in a Facebook post following the stunt. And now it's under your tyrannous leadership.
You know what's surprising to me? That Facebook allowed her to do this. Because they've been so good at stopping things like this from being disseminated.
The day after she posted the video, Ms. Turner met with an individual who claimed she pitched them a plot to place Governor DeWine under house arrest.
I think dumb people should not be allowed to do plots.
Yeah.
They should not be allowed to plot.
Or maybe
anything.
don't be pitching kidnapping plots around people that you don't know are going to rat you out, you dummy.
Yeah.
Is that now a thing? Like, this is the thing.
Kidnapping governors should not be a thing.
Does that become a trendy thing
Yeah,
for people
it is.
who are
They tried to
Trumpers?
kidnap the governor of Michigan, who's a Democrat. Now they're trying to kidnap the governor of Ohio, who's a Republican.
So if you disagree with someone, screw democracy.
That's right.
Screw the basic decency we have in our world. Screw the principles that our nation was founded upon. Screw Jesus and all the things he stands for.
But still put a hand on the Bible because you need to make sure this is legit.
Screw everything except your feelings, right?
That's right.
That's the world we want to live in. That's what you're trying to do?
Yeah.
According to the individual who she pitched the plot to, who asked local media not to identify them over fears of retribution.
So now this person's got to live a private life.
Because you shared your dumb idea with this person.
And you know she's going to out this person.
Ms. Turner told them that they would kidnap Mr. DeWine, try him for
You're not going to try anybody.
for several alleged crimes, and then sentence him to exile or execution.
Try him.
So you get to decide if he's guilty or not.
Yeah.
You do. This feels like Silence of the Lambs. Am I wrong?
Exile or execute him is scary as all get out.
That feels humane. No need to confer with the court system that we've set up in the United States for that, right?
Which, by the way, that's broken as well, but I would still prefer that.
Remember when asking for a ride to the airport was a big deal? Mm-hmm. Hey, man, can you water my plants and get my mail while I'm out of town? That doesn't feel so big
next
to someone asking you to kidnap the governor with them.
It's a big ask. That's a big ask if you're going to start trying to recruit people, Turner.
You get rides to the airport for life if you co-kidnap the governor.
I guess so.
Ms. Turner spoke to Cleveland.com and confirmed that I don't even know if Cleveland.com is a newspaper. I think it's just a website. She just spoke, and I bet she didn't speak to a person. She opened up her
racist Indians gear.
Right? And she just opened up her computer and she was like, hello, Cleveland.com. She just spoke to the website.
I'm sure.
And confirmed that she did have a phone conversation about placing Mr. DeWine under house arrest, but she never had any specific discussions beyond that.
I love how she's walking back in her crazy that your plot to kidnap the governor and place him on house arrest is
already horrible.
But
you think, okay, let me just give the corner of the plan that I think will be okay.
It's acceptable if we kidnap our governor and place him under house arrest. We didn't say anything about exile or execution. You're the one who said that. We're just going to kidnap him an adult
and hold him against his will captive as a prisoner in his house.
What's wrong with that?
She called the whistleblower, the person who won't identify themselves, a dingbat.
What is a dingbat? What are you, Archie Bunker?
Speaking of bats, let's kidnap all the bats and put them on house arrest for giving us coronavirus.
Yeah.
The Ohio Capital Journal was the first to report on the plot, not Cleveland.com.
Yeah.
Cleveland.com was just a
Cleveland.com
website she yelled at a computer.
It's not a thing. And by the way, that could be a website for Cleveland Steamers. We don't know.
The first to report on the plot. And it is a plot. It is a plot.
100%.
It should be taken as seriously as a terrorist threat.
I agree.
It should be prosecuted to the highest extent of the law.
I hope you like living in prison for the rest of your days.
Ohio State troopers visited Miss Turner at her home
That's
Friday
so
morning.
sweet. They visited her at her home.
They just dropped by to say
just
hi.
dropped by, just popped in, bringing
said-
some muffins.
She said the troopers were, quote, just there to check out my temperament and what my plans are.
Yeah, just checking to see how you're feeling
They
this
just want
morning.
to see how you're feeling.
What are you doing?
Are you feeling happy?
Are you feeling sad?
Feeling a little kidnappy?
You feeling a little kidnappy right now?
A little terroristy?
Maybe. Feel like
Miss
breaking the law?
Miss Turner has not been placed under arrest. Why not?
Why has she not been taken into custody?
Why?
If you are plotting this thing, you're gone.
To
dude.
me, I'm going to kidnap the governor who doesn't agree with me is the new telling people I have a bomb on the plane.
Take it seriously. Every time you have to assume that's what's going to happen, you're gone, dude. You're out of society.
Where are the cops who are barreling down her door without an announcement at midnight and just shooting into a bedroom? Where's that?
Where's the exercise of force there that we're not going to prosecute?
This person just threatened to judge and then execute another person. I'm sorry. When you do that, you don't get to live in society anymore.
We don't need you. Nobody, I guarantee you, nobody is saying, let's keep this woman out of prison.
You can plot all you want in prison for the
Yeah.
rest of your life
Plot
until
until you die.
Plot until you die. We have a society, okay, that hinges on a few basic rules.
Number one, you do not kidnap anyone.
Number two, you don't execute anyone on your own. You don't
And
get to do that.
Number three, you don't get to plot anything except a surprise birthday party.
And number four, if you get caught for it,
You got to go.
you got to go.
You got to go.
It's that simple.
You got caught.
You've earned your rightful place behind bars forever.
There's a plot.
That's not
That's a
even
plot with a happy ending for me.
right. So
And
this is not. We're not saying anything, by the way, that is revolutionary.
No, we're saying if you plot against government officials,
So and to the
Gone.
and to people who sign up to be cops because they want to take down people, because they want to get physical and fuck people up.
go after this
Here's
woman.
someone.
Have at her.
Have at her. She threatened to execute another person.
She had bad intentions. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. You do
Have
what you
fun
got to
with her.
do.
Have fun with her.
Get her to prison.
Get her to the Greek. We don't care.
We don't care. And so
And you know where you can document everything that you do to this woman and it'll go out into the world?
Cleveland.com.
That is our show. We love you guys. Hang in there. Make a plan to vote. Please do. And then come see our show on Saturday night because it's going to make
you
you
don't have to
feel
come
good.
anywhere. You can just do it from your house. We're putting you on house arrest.
That's it. Mike DeWine, you can come check it out too. It's November 7th, eventbrite.com, live down Peopletown. John Hamm, tennis. We love you guys. Stay connected, stay protected, don't get infected. This is not a hoax.
But we've got the jokes. Wear
Wear
a mask.
everybody, and vote, vote, vote. We'll see you.
La ti da ti da ti da. La ti da da.